Hi guys. Welcome. I'm Katie with Huckleberry Gems, and super excited to have you here with me. I just wanted to go over the basics of what I use because when I create, I put in music. I know a lot of people like the interaction. Some people like silence. Some people are like me and like music. But I find for me, I get into a flow when I have music on and I can just create. So that's what I'm doing here. But I wanted to come up front and explain any techniques or things that you may like, my most common questions I have that get asked when I'm painting. So, first things first, I in the Facebook group, Crafty Corner with Huckleberry Gems. If you're not a part of it, just shoot me an email, hello at Huckleberry Gems, and I'll send over a link. But you should be able to search for it on Facebook, and I'll let you right in when you click, let me in. So I will go through and I let people in. But in that group, in the guides section, are see if I can hold this up. This is the colors that I use. This is all the colors that I use on my wood pieces. It is color coded to folk art. So all of the sticker labels are a match to the folk art, right? So the white is sorry, hit the microphone, is the vintage white on here. The red is the Christmas red. So they will match each other. The blue is sky blue. They will match each other. So if you print this out and you need to go to Hobby Lobby, is almost always the best bet to find the folk art colors, at least lately. I know they are getting harder to find. You can find some on Amazon. You can go directly to their website too. It's Plaid, Plaid, I believe it is, but that's the brand that carries folk art. I also have done my best to match to deco art. I know deco art is a lot easier to find, but it does not match exactly to the original colors that I have started painting with, which are the folk art colors. So you have these two, try not to hit the microphone, these two they're in the guides, so you can print them out, take them to the store with you, and match the best that you can. Of course, colors and inks and all that stuff is going to be different versus the actual paint that you see in the store. I have taken mine to Home Depot and color matched them through Home Depot. And so I just take, these are just condiment bottles I got at my local restaurant supply store. And I get the 8-ounce samples from Home Depot and I just have them color matched to the folk art colors. I do use a lot of the regular white Americana deco art. So that is this is snow titanium white. And then, like I said, all the labels match the printables that you will find in the guide section. So if you're unsure what color to match, if you're a color matcher, if you want to go off and do your own thing, great. I encourage that. Like, create your own colors, match it to your decor, match it to your favorites. Like, you do not have to color exactly to these colors. Let me make sure they're all in the camera. You don't have to match them exactly to all of these. But those guides that you're able to print off will help you to color code to what is on the labels. Okay, so don't get confused there. It is same color across the board. I use these colors. These are the only colors that I use on my wood pieces. So if you're able to print this off, go get those colors. These colors will match the labels that you get with your kits. That's the overall reaching of everything. Folk art to those colors to the labels, okay? Second thing, I get my pink pokey is an invaluable tool to me, and I get them in a pack of 2 at the Dollar Tree. You can order online in Dollar Tree, but you have to order in bulk. So if you don't have one near you, you are able to get them. Otherwise, I believe that it's actually for vinyl, and it's for like weeding the vinyl when you're picking out the little pieces. So if you can get a hold of a tool like that, or even a toothpick, you guys, a toothpick is simple. But I use this a lot. It helps me peel the backing off to expose the sticky side. It helps me scrape paint out of engraved pieces that I didn't want them in. Super, I mean, you can tell it's like there's paint all over this thing. Then second thing, I get this at the Dollar Tree too. I don't know if it's for nails. Like, I really don't know. I don't know where. It is in the crafting section, and I believe this one comes in a pack of one. I haven't had to buy some in a while, but there are two different size dots on each end. And this is what I use to make my polka dots. So I'll have my paint here and I'll dot, dip, backwards, dip, dot, dip, dot. That will give me consistent sizes in my dots. If I just dip, dot, 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 the sizes of my dots will vary. So that's up to you how you want to create your dots. Overall painting, I use magic erasers. You guys, it's a magic eraser and I've sliced it down. So I get, you know what, like up to eight little foamies out of one magic eraser. The denser, the better. So the more firm, the better. They are magic erasers. They will fall apart on your piece, but it's super easy to just wipe when it's dry and just wipe all the fuzz off of it. It's not hard. So if it starts to fall apart on your piece, don't freak out. Let it dry and then just wipe your piece. These, they're so hard to find anymore. Like, good ones are really, really hard to find. It's a struggle, for reals. It's a struggle. They're just plain old makeup wedges. Again, the denser, the better. There is a difference in a lot of them, and it's hard to find the good ones. But this, if I don't want to float, I will pour out two colors and I will just, so pretend I have colors here. I will put half of one side, half of the other, and then just kind of pat together. And then there will be two separate colors on the edge here. And so let's pretend this is the white. The white is here, and I'll just edge the outside of this piece with like a pink. So I'll have a white and a pink, and I'll make sure that the white is on the inside while the pink is on the outside, and I will make sure that it's wet all the way across. And that is an easy way to add floating to your edge or any place in your piece, is just to make sure that it's kind of like blended, which is exactly what these are for, is for makeup. And you can just blend them super easy. So if you see me doing that, that's what I'm using. I'm using a makeup sponge, just a triangle makeup wedge, and it usually has two colors on it. And you'll see I'll have a palette like up in this corner over here. No, this corner. And so you'll see my paint palette when I'm working, and you'll see me doing that. That's what I'm doing. Angle brushes, if I'm floating with just paint and water, I use an angle brush normally. Let me see if I can get a good, there we go. I don't know if it kind of looks flat. Let me see if I can get a better one. Let me try this one. You can see it's just an angle, and I will put the paint just on the tip piece right here, and the rest is just water. There is no magic ratio that I can tell you. You just have to figure it out for yourself of the paint versus the water. Too much water will leave watermarks on your piece. Too much paint won't move around very much. So I wish I could give you a magic 1-to-1 ratio of how to do it easily, but environments are different, paints consistencies are different. Everything is a variable between you and me. And so even I'm like, oh crap, that was too much water. So I'll pinch it off, right? So you'll see me doing that. There's no magic ratio. Just play with that one. So if you're not ready to dive into the floating with a brush, use the magic or the sponge. Okay. The sponge is easy. It's super easy, and it adds a lot of depth to your pieces. So it's not flat, solid color. If you like the flat, solid color, like, there's nothing wrong with that. It is your piece. It is your piece of art. It is your decor. So don't think that somebody else's is better than yours. If you like the flat color, don't judge what you're doing based off of somebody else. Okay. I just want to give you guys tips. Dry brushing. This is just a stencil brush that I bought from Michael's. If you can get it's hard. It's meant for stencils. If you can find them, get them. I like them. I also have gotten from my local art supply store these guys. They are the Royal Stencil. Let's see if I can hold that up so you guys can see that. Float down. If you can find these are good too. I like the smaller ones for dry brushing. What I mean by dry brushing is I just put it into the paint and no water, nothing. And then you'll see on my table here, I will take it and I will rub most of the paint out of it. And then I will use it to highlight my pieces. So if you see me using this, that's me dry brushing to add highlights, shadows, all kinds of stuff. And there's no water or anything to it. I'm using dry brush and there's barely any paint on it. So you'll have to do it multiple times to bring it out, right? So 1 coat, 2 coat, 3 coats, so don't think that you're going to come in there with 1 coat and it's going to be magically there. It won't be. The beards for the gnomies, a liner brush is super, super thin. You can use a comb brush as well. I'm not finding it right away. We've got a visitor now. You can use a comb brush. Here's a comb brush. This is what a comb brush looks like. I don't know if you can see it very well, but you can see the splits in it. You can use that for his hair. You can use a liner brush for his beard. And then you just create strokes and just fast and edgy and you make it look like a beard, right? And you'll see me using that for beards. And then the fan brushes. If I splatter, I know people like to use toothbrushes. I'm not a fan. It's too messy for me. And I'm a messy person, and this is too messy for me. I like a fan brush. So I will take my fan brush, I will put it into the paint, and then I will dip it into water, and then I will just do this. This is my technique to splatter, right? So the paint has water, and it is thinned out, and I will just use that to splatter like that. That is how I splatter. I feel like I get more control and consistency when I use the fan brush for splattering. Water bottle. I live in a very dry area, and so you will see me on my palette sometimes spraying water or on the pieces spraying water. There's nothing special in here. It's just water. I got this at the Dollar Tree. It actually had a fragrance in it, and I dumped the fragrance out because I liked the handle. Let's be honest. So this is just water. My acrylics tend to dry up super fast in my area, especially in the summertime. The hotter we get, the more dry it gets. And it's considered high desert, even though it's Boise, mountains, whatever, we're high desert. But it dries up really fast. And so I will lose access to my paint because it's not open anymore. And I need to use more paint. Those are the basics. My palette is a piece of glass. It actually I found at a thrift store. It was a glass tabletop for a desk. And I asked them if I could just buy the glass because it's tempered glass. And I have put it on the back of a white piece of wood and then just duct tape to it. So it's glass. My palette is glass. And I use just a flat razor blade, if I can get it open, to scrape the paint off when it's dry. I have 2 water cups for the most part, going back and forth, whether I need the water or not, especially if I just do the whole project with a magic eraser and a sponge. I don't necessarily need the water. And then I just have, this is my old rag that I use for, it's just a microfiber rag. I stole it from my husband from the auto shop, so nothing special there. And then diaper wipes. Always have diaper wipes. And also, I have 2 types of tape. I have the blue tape, and this is the less sticky tape. You'll see me use the blue tape more because this doesn't work as well because it's there's less adhesive to it, so the pieces tend to fall off. So I use this tape when I'm using like letters, and I'll just tape it upside down to my table and put the little small pieces on there so that I can paint them all at once. I think that's it. Those are the basics. So if you guys see me using all of that stuff, that's what I'm doing. If there's something that's like new or imperative that I think you guys need to know, I'll pop in with some captions. But for the most part, like I said, I get into my flow with music. And so, for the most part, I'll turn on some, non-copyrighted music for you guys to listen to. But I have my headphones on and I'm listening to music, and it really depends on the day what type of music I'm listening to. It could be anything from country to pop to Lindsey Sterling. So I go across the board. I am very eclectic with my music tastes, but it also helps me get into a flow. And if you can get into a flow while you're creating, that gets you outside of your logical brain and it makes it easier to create something that you're really going to enjoy and that you're really going to love and that you want to keep and display in your home and be proud of. So that's why for the most part most of these videos are going to have music attached to them, and you'll see my paint palette and you'll see the piece on the table and you'll just see me working with my hands. But if you have any questions, always you can email me at hello@Huckleberry Gems, and I'm happy to answer. And you'll find that I'm actually pretty quick in my answers. And so that's pretty much it. So enjoy your kit that you've purchased, and I can't wait to see it in the Facebook group. Please do share. I love seeing what you guys create and how different you can get with them. People like to put bling on them. People use paper. People use all kinds of stuff. So don't be afraid to post. I don't allow meanies or bullies or anybody in my group that is not, it's not acceptable, and they will be kicked right out. So don't be afraid or ashamed or scared to post your pieces, because we will love on them. And if you want advice on how to advance to more advanced techniques within the painting, ask. There are some advanced painters in there, and they will definitely be happy to help. So with that, enjoy your kit, enjoy the video that you're about to watch, and I can't wait to see what you create.